Beginning in the 1700s, people have been intentionally and vigorously attacking the resurrection of Jesus Christ, recorded in the New Testament, the records of the early church fathers, and referenced by Roman historians. There have been handfuls of so-called swoon theories, called swoon theories because they all involve Jesus not actually dying, but passing out, being drugged, or somehow self-hypnotizing. Interestingly, when they are read, they give off an air of a studied, sure confidence. But when critically analyzed, they fall apart. And it's their very confidence that reveals a strange truth, a rather desperate need for Jesus to be a fraud. Almost everyone uses elements from the New Testament, but none is willing to take the whole thing. They look at Pilate hesitating to crucify Jesus and claim that's proof he took a bribe to save him. They see soldiers giving Christ a drink on a sponge and claim it was a mandrake potion magically concocted to act like a modern-day anesthetic. Despite being logically and historically unfounded, these claims also fail to analyze history in a respectable way. When attempting to reconstruct an event, one must take into account all of the written and physical resources. To cut them up into little pieces means to take words and events out of context. Despite their historic ignorance, swoon conspiracy theories also ignore the fairly obvious medical barrier. All documents agree that Christ was crucified, but first, that he was beaten at least twice, refused sleep and water, scourged with whips, forced to carry a load, and nailed through his hands and feet, his body weight suspended. The state of physical shock and trauma of Christ inevitably led to his early demise. The real problem, though, is that of all religious leaders and philosophers, Jesus won't die. His death was the beginning of his eternal life, and despite the shame of Roman crucifixion and surrounded by thousands of witnesses, people believed what they saw.